Today on The Big Story, we turn our attention to an issue that is quietly shaping the destiny of Nigeria's next generation, which is substance abuse. And of course, substance abuse is no longer a fringe problem. It has become a national emergency, touching homes, schools, communities, and futures. But amid the rising concerns, one truth remains sacrosanct. Education is still the strongest weapon that we can possess. This morning we unpack why the future matters and why education must win the fight against substance abuse. Samson Balogun is my name. All right, substance abuse among young Nigerians is escalating at a pace that alarms educators, parents, policymakers, and community leaders. Behind every statistic is a child, a dream, a derailed future. But beyond the fear and the headlines lies a deeper conversation, one about the role of education, awareness, structured learning, community engagement, and value-based teaching. Right, education doesn't just inform, it transforms. It shapes the mind, builds resistance, strengthens decision-making, and opens a door to healthier possibilities. The question then is not whether education can fight substance abuse, but whether we are deploying it powerfully enough to win the battle. To help us navigate this crucial national conversation this morning, we are joined by two individuals who work every day at the front line of community upliftment and youth empowerment. Olanike Olatunde, the General Manager, Ayo Fatokun Foundation, and Victor Ogunshino, who is the Media Director, Ayo Fatokun Foundation. The Ayo Fatokun Foundation has been a beacon of hope, focusing on health education, supporting the less privileged, driving community development, and promoting quality learning as a pathway to a better life. Their work places them right at the heart of this debate this morning, and together we'll examine the trends, the dangers, the opportunities, and most importantly, the solution. Thank you for joining us on this show this morning. This show is still Daybreak Live, and this is The Big Story. Olanike Olatunde, good to have you on the studio this morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Balogun. My name is Olanike Olatunde. I'm here to represent Ayo Fatokun Foundation as the General Manager of the foundation. And this morning, we'll be talking about Ayo Fatokun Foundation.
Absolutely, that's what we want to talk about. And then there is a lot to unpack, and we'll get to that space. Victor Ogunshino, thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samson Balogun. My name is Victor Ogunshino. Ogunshola, actually.
Ogunshola, actually.
Yeah, so Director of Media and Communication at Fatokun Foundation. Of course, it's so nice to be here, of course. So
thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
So let's do a complete overview of Ayo Fatokun Foundation. What is Ayo Fatokun Foundation all about?
Yes, thank you. Ayo Fatokun Foundation is a non-profit, a non-political, and a non-governmental organization aimed and focused at catering to the less privileged and providing for the needy in general in our society.
Okay, so how long have you been into this particularly? Talking about Ayo Fatokun Foundation, Victor.
Ayo Fatokun Foundation has been operating since 2019.
2019?
Of course.
And this is 2025, that's about 6 years.
Of course, impacting lives, touching lives under education, health, and community development.
So, when you talk about the issue at hand, talking about drug abuse in the country, most of the times if you check the narrative, it is usually around the youth, it centers around the youth. And it's a menace that is yet to be curbed in our society. What is Ayo Fatokun Foundation doing to put this to an end?
Thank you very much. Ayo Fatokun, again, we have, as a non-governmental organization that caters to the needs of the poor, we have four major areas of focus.
Okay.
Number one is the education, the health initiative, and the community development. Okay. So out of that is what actually born the 300 Voices One Mission, to educate the youth. One of the areas where we focus on to help to educate the youth is that we can see all around us that is becoming rampant. So one of the initiatives is the way we think we can contribute to that is by bringing youth together. Those ones who are not already involved, you know, of course, some people need rehab, others just need the right set of mind.
And mentorship.
And mentorship and guidance. And that's why we are here, to bring together people that have knowledge, people that have been there and they were able to scale through to say, you know what, you're on the right path. Focus on your education. So we are here to teach them, mentor them, gather students around the Oyo State, around Ibadan specifically, because the work is around Ibadan, to teach them, you know, talk to them, mentor them, and guide them.
So let's scratch beyond the surface a little bit more this morning. How rampant and how prevalent is drug abuse in Nigeria, or your state and Ibadan, to be specific?
Thank you very much. Well, for your state, I'm not quite sure. But the NDLA, statistics by the NDLA, shows that about 25 to 40% of young adults, and that includes teens and, you know, between the age of 16 to like 25, they are vastly involved in the use and abuse of substance. And that is why we are here. And it's the numbers keep increasing day by day.
I was about to ask you, why do you think we are beginning to have a surge in substance abuse in our society, despite efforts by organizations like yours and even the government to make sure that this is curbed? Victor, can you take that very quickly?
So this is a problem that is becoming more rampant, just like my other colleague have said. And so, permit me to speak Yoruba a little bit. Nígbà kan, àwọn bàbá wa láyé àwọn bàbá wa. In fact, let me even talk up to 2005, 2010, you know, people are not prioritized from maybe their friends, you know, society.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure, thank you so much. That's number one. Number two, then when people want to take substance abuse, or when they want to abuse substance or take, you know, all these hard drugs and thereabouts, woman healing they do it at, you know, a very
usually not done
place,
in the open.
not in the public. But you see now it's becoming out there. In fact, these young ones are not even hiding it anymore. She understands. So we see that, okay, this is a problem. In fact, let me tell you a story. There's a particular guy at the area that I grew up. He's into this shoemaking and all of that. He's very brilliant. Okay, so there are this kind of people that do things in the local, but their products are, you know, top notch. All of a sudden, I went back to
the same area.
The same area, few months ago, sorry, and I saw this guy, you know, in a very bad state, and then the shop also is not there again. So I was asking around, okay, what happened to this person? So they were telling me that, okay, he joined band gang and he started taking drugs. So Kololare then, now it would have been a very good person to the society.
Promising.
Of course. But because of substance abuse, you know, it turned out to be another thing. So this is what we at Ayo Fatokun Foundation see to now say, oh, okay, we can speak up against this and say, okay, young ones, you have a better life ahead of you, and substance abuse and addiction is going to destroy it. Of course, there are some people that are deep into it. There are young ones also that are coming up that they just need awareness to be raised around it. They just need someone to tell them that, okay, what you are doing would not take you anywhere. In fact, it will destroy your life. So that's why Ayo Fatokun Foundation is coming up with 300 people.
We'll get to the event. Just hold on a little bit.
No problem. So, of course, so to now say, okay, we have to talk about this. This is a problem. And in fact, you see, social media also is also adding more to the problem with our influencers, our celebrities, you know. Some faction of these people take all these things, and these young ones sees them as
role model.
Role model. So they also, you know, take all these things, and, you know, it's not adding up, it's not helping. So that's why we say, okay, let's do something, let's stand up, let's talk against this, and let's speak that, okay, you have a future, and this thing you are doing is not going to take you anywhere. So, of course, yeah.
Okay, Olanike, your foundation, Ayo Fatokun Foundation, champions education.
Yes.
And how do you think education is a frontline tool to combat drug abuse in the society?
Thank you very much. I'll give you a brief story.
Okay.
I've had quite a number of friends that we go out together. Like I missed your friends, and you just want to hang out. As a young lady, you have your friends, they invite you to a party and stuff like that. And, you know, you're all seated, you're eating and doing stuff. You know, at some point, some person will just walk towards you with a cup and say, you can't, I'm having fun. You can't, you know, education teaches you, it prepares your mind to know your left from your right. So, okay, so you have an idea of what substance can do to you.
Right.
If you have an idea, whatever anybody throws at you that has to do with something you're not even sure of, you want to question it. You want to question it over and over again. And once you're not clear, you know, you can say no. No, I don't want to do it. Nobody can influence your mind easily when you have the knowledge of what not. And that's why we think that people need to have the in-depth knowledge of how this substance abuse could rip them off their future.
Okay, so let's talk about value-based education and mentorship. In what way has this been helping in the society as we speak, Victor?
Well, we have people that are speaking against this from time to time, but of course it's not getting more popular than people that are, you know, promoting taking of these things. So, just like I said, in a group of these people that take all these substances and drugs and whatever, these people that are speaking against it, their main aim is to say, okay, if I can get one person that is going to stop this thing, that would also influence other
Someone
people
else should
to also stop, then it's a win. And so far, so good, although it's not showing. That's why we're calling on to people, you know, parents, teachers, everyone to speak against this. If we continue to speak against this, of course, it would continue to reduce and decline as we go on. So mentorship on this has, of course, been helping so far, so good. And it will continue to help. So that's why we're charging everyone to also speak against it. Okay,
Olanike, let's talk about the role that parents should play, teachers, community leaders, religious leaders. What role should they play in bridging the knowledge gap?
Thank you very much. I think education, so to speak,
it doesn't end within the four corners of the classroom.
Yes, thank you very much, exactly. So education should continue after the school hours. You know, your children come back from school and then you realize that they are probably calm unnecessarily, they don't talk or stuff like that. You want to find out, you want to be your children, that's for parent now, best friend. They can tell you almost, in fact, they can tell you about anything. So you know when they are doing something that is beyond natural. You know, you can talk to them, sit them down, educate them, you know the kind of friends they mingle with. You know, by so doing, they kind of tell you everything. Oh, mommy, I went out with my friend and they gave us this, they gave us that. What did you take and stuff like that. So you need to learn. We need to, as parents, you need to just sit your children down, talk to them about the set of people that they should move with in the society. And you can only do that when you sit them down. You know, you try to talk to them about you know, you give them options. When they know the left and they know the right, they know that, okay, if you choose this path, this is likely going to be the end result. And if you choose the other path, you know, for every choices we make, you know, there are consequences. There are consequences.
Okay, now let me ask you this question very quickly. There are some families, parents-children relationship with no communication channel. So who should be asking more questions, the child or the parent?
The parent, in this case. The parent should be asking more questions. And that's why you need to be your children's best friend, like I said earlier. You know, if you are friends with your children, it becomes very easy. Every other thing is in place. Communication is key. Always talk to them. How was school today? Did you meet new friend? what did you talk about? Oh, okay, it's the end of the year party. How was it? You follow them to events, to school events. Sometimes you need to accompany your children to their friend's birthday party or whatnot. Well, I mean, you don't have to be there every time. You can't be with your children every time. But communication is key, and the children and the parents need to ask more questions. More questions.
Talking about this industry that you have found yourself, non-governmental, and of course, it is something that you have done for some time. What role do you think the government has played so far? And what other government actions or policies do you think can be implemented to further push down the narrative and, of course, curb what we currently see as the spate of drug abuse in the society?
Well, quite a few. I'm sure the Ministry for Youth and Sports, they have had several events in time past to educate the youth. Just like a few days ago, too, we were speaking to Mr. Olojede, the SSA, to the governor on student mobilization, and they just concluded some events to educating the youth from all from various institutions across Oyo State. So I'm sure there are other initiatives that I don't know of that have sprung up in the course of students focusing on their education and ignoring substance abuse. So there are quite a few, and the government, yes, they're trying. I mean, these are arms of the government I've mentioned.
Okay, so how can civil society organizations like Ayo Fatokun Foundation do more than what we currently see? Because the word more is actually more. So what do you think some other civil society organizations like yours can do? And how do you think collaboration can add value to what you currently do?
Okay, so we'll keep talking, we'll keep bringing initiatives on board on how we can tackle this problem. Part of this is an awareness work. And speaking of collaboration, when we collaborate, we are going to go far with this message.
Right.
And it's very important for non-government organization, non-profit, to come up with various initiatives, work with local stakeholders, local communities. In fact, schools, it won't be a bad idea if non-profit organization go to school to say, okay, we want to discuss this particular issue with your students. Go to churches, go to mosques, go around, go to streets, to go to villages, to speak with, because it's becoming a problem, and it's very important for our organization and other non-profit organizations. In fact, this is beyond non-profit organization. Actually, it is beyond.
This is a community-driven.
Yes, community-driven. Thank you. So it's very important for each and every one of us to say, okay, we have to take charge and speak against this. In fact, to buttress what Madam Onalike said, there are some cases where young ones found themselves in these things, maybe by peer pressure or influence. Now, when parents, guardians, teachers found out, it's very important for them to sit them down in love and in compassion, because agidi oleshe, to sit them down, to discuss with them, and tell them, okay, this is what is going to happen, this is what is going to happen. And of course, if initiative like this from every other organization comes up, of course, the trend of this thing will reduce drastically. Yes.
Okay, Olanike, if the government fails to support at this time, if nothing is done by the federal and state government, what is the long-term consequences of our national development and the youth population in the next few years?
It's a lot that we can't even talk about it all here, but the consequences are very wide. Because any youth that is involved in this, and the society is not, if the government are not largely invested in this, it's a great risk for the future of Nigeria, for the future of our states, for the future of the world at large. Because a youth that neglects education for substance abuse will end up not amounting to anything in life, And by so doing, by the time they realize that it's too late, that's why we have the case of kidnapping. Anyone that doesn't have a reasonable stream of income, that has, probably dropped out of school for a long while, at some point, he or she will just wake up one day and realize, no, there's nothing for me and I have to survive. So there's a great danger that lies ahead if the government are not, if they are ignoring this aspect of the society. So it's going to put our future, the future of the next generation, the future of the next generation in jeopardy. And by so doing, we won't have a safe environment even for our own children, our siblings, our family. It will be
even for ourselves.
Even for ourselves, it will be dangerous. It will be dangerous. It will be dangerous.
Okay, now very quickly, there was a particular saying by the late sage Obafemi Awolowo, who said that the children of the poor you have failed to train today
Exactly.
will end up being a problem to your own children in the future. Now, if you check the last 10 years to what we currently have now, what's your projection for the next 5 years or 10 years in the country? With the current effort you are putting in?
Okay, so with the current effort that we are putting in, if we are able to get enough support from the government, from other non-governmental, we're open to collaborations. When initiatives like this come up, people are quick to say, okay, we are here to support you. Either by monetary support, the youth also coming out in numbers to say, okay, let's join the movement. I mean, we'll be able to arrive in the next 5 years to a very safe space where even if we are not able to take it out completely, we have reduced number of young people that are, involving in this substance abuse case.
Okay, so on the flip side, if we win this fight through education, through awareness and early intervention, what could the transformed future of in Nigeria look like?
Okay, I think we'll have more youths that are focused in building their future without the influence of the substance that we are talking about. We have more youth who are focused in the governmental space and the private sector. We have more youth who are, focusing on their future, building a life that are not destroying their own future with substance. We have a clean space. You don't have to worry about the next generation future. It's something we'll be proud of in the next few years if we are able to achieve what we are trying to do.
Okay, Victor, is there any association or relationship between Ayo Fatokun Foundation and the NDLEA?
Of course, yes. We've done a few projects in the past, about 2 projects, where we bring the NDLEA on board to discuss also with our beneficiaries. Of course, yes. And of course, they are coming on board for this coming project too, yes.
So you mentioned the coming project. You have a work coming up. What's it about?
So there is a problem which we have been discussing since this program starts, which is the intake of substance abuse and addiction. And it has been causing a serious problem in this country that we meet ourselves. It has been affecting, the community, the society in large. So we as a team sit down to now say, okay, what can we do? Because we have to do something. So now say, okay, if we speak against it, if we let the young ones know that your future is bright, your future is important, and substance abuse is going to destroy it. If we can speak against it, then it will not be a bad idea. In fact, it will be a very good one. So that's why we now say, okay, let's organize a program where 300 people will be on the road to talk about it. One person is just going to shake. It's just going to shake a little part of the city, but 300 people on the road speaking against something is going to have more impact. So that's why we say, okay, let's organize this program to have a 5-kilometer awareness walk where we'll have 300 people on the road to speak against substance abuse and addiction and encourage our young ones to focus more on their education and the things that matters in their life. So, yeah.
So the event is a 5-kilometer awareness walk, 300 voices, one mission.
Yes.
So you are setting out to have the same goal. And I've seen some people post this design, especially in the industry, and I've seen how this has gone viral so far. So how have you been able to manage to push this to this extent?
Well, this is one of the platform. Our social media space as well, we've been able to collaborate with some of the notable personnel in the society, like the likes of Ronnie G. Okay. She's been helping us with the awareness as well. Our social media platform, the Ayo Fatokun Foundation, on Facebook, Instagram. Sheon Fakorede himself. These are the people coming on board. Victor Olojede himself. We have Babatu Michel as well coming on board. So we are trying. Even though we are open to collaborations, we need more collaborations. But these are the space we've been using because it's a chance to save a life. And you know, it requires a collective effort. So when is this event coming up? It's coming up on the 5th of December, which is the International Volunteers Day. Okay. Because we have Ayo Fatokun also have our foundation volunteers coming on board as well, and then we are open to adding up as many youth as possible that can come out to join the work. So you mentioned that the onboarding process is still very much on. So how do people get to reach out to you to be a part of this process? Is there a registration process? Yes, there's a registration link for every single youth. It's available on her bio across all our social media platforms, on our social media pages. Yes. So they just click there, they'll see the register space, and of course they'll register and. So social media accounts. What are the social media accounts you are on? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Instagram. And what are the handles? Instagram, Ayo Fatokun Foundation. Facebook, Ayo Fatokun Foundation. LinkedIn, Ayo Fatokun Foundation. And on X, formerly Twitter, Ayo Fatokun Foundation also. So the theme here for this year is the future matters. Choose education, not substance abuse and addiction. This is something you have been working on for a long time. How much impact, Olanike, how much impact do you think this will have in the society, at least for the next few years? Like I said earlier, this is more than just an event. Okay. It's a movement. It's a chance to save life. The impact this will have is to create a safe space for the next generation to be safe. You don't have to worry about your children going out and coming down with, you know, bad influence and stuff like that. Because if we don't curb it now, it's going to emerge and progress into something that we might not be able to curb in the next decade to come. So the movement starts now, the voice starts now. And that's why we're bringing people on board to speak to the youth, to say, you're on the right track if you've not started. You know, those that have started, they need rehab, they need help. They also get to learn that this is not the way. You have a brighter future ahead of you. And by so doing, they don't get to influence the ones who are still clean. Is this a yearly thing, or it's just a one-off? Is it going to become a series? It's first of its kind. Okay. Right, but like I said, as a foundation that is largely invested in community development, we will have another. So it's going to be a progressive work. Okay. Now, very quickly, before we go and before we wrap up on this show this morning, so what personally drives this leadership and the team behind the Ayo Fatokun Foundation in championing youth and community development? Our chairman, Honorable Ayo Fatokun himself, is somebody who is so, I don't know how to describe, he's so kind that every day he thinks about how to invest in the lives of the youth. You know, he doesn't think about himself. He thinks about having a space where the youth can say, okay, I've become this because of this person. My life, I've taken a new turn because of this person. So he's one person that is largely invested in seeing the youth amount to something big in life, in seeing youth, achieve their dreams, achieve their aims in life. And that's one of the reasons why the foundation has been able to come up with this. This initiative especially was born out of that. Okay. Ayo Fatokun Foundation itself was born out of... So where is Ayo Fatokun Foundation located, if she has an office? Yes, we have a physical office at Iyaniwura building, Basharon, opposite Islamic High School. Okay. And if anyone wants to reach you now through our channel, phone numbers? Yes, we have a phone number. The phone number to reach us on is 090 88 888 987. All right, once again, please. 090
987.
Okay.
Of course, we have our email, also
Okay.
Ayo Fatokun Foundation at gmail.com.
Please take that again.
Ayo Fatokun Foundation at gmail.com.
gmail.com. All right, Olanike, if you are to leave a message for an average Nigerian young person in the society as we speak that is currently struggling with peer pressure or maybe substance temptation, what would you say to such person at this time?
I will say to you that as a youth myself, I've been there. I've had series of events where my friends will say, those I called my friends though, you know, until you get to a certain environment with some people, you don't know what they're capable of. Okay. So each time, you need to have a mind of your own. First, you want a certain future for yourself. And anything that comes looking like it's going to interact with that or take you out of that, you say no to it. Have a mind of yourself. Say no to, you don't just take anything from anybody. Sometimes when they know that you have a mind of yourself and you consistently say no, they tend to want to, like, you know, infiltrate your drink or do whatever. Okay. Have a mind of yourself. Always say no. And if it gets to a point where you have to separate or detach yourself from some friends or influence just to avoid, please do so. Stay away from people who consistently tell you to try this or try that. I've seen so many clips on social media of people saying, oh, I don't used to do this. I was just introduced to a friend. Okay. So you need to learn to stay no and stay clear of the environment. Please.
All right, thank you, Olanike and Victor, for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
It has been an eye-opening session with you. And most likely, we'll also have some members of staff of Dominion Broadcast Group at your event. All right, as we conclude today's big story, one message rings clear. The future is too important to be surrendered to substance abuse. Education, whether in classrooms, communities, homes, or digital spaces, remain our most reliable shield and our most transformative tool. But it requires collective efforts, targeted policies, compassionate intervention, and national commitment. We thank our guests this morning, Olanike Olatunde and Victor Ogunshola of the Ayo Fatokun Foundation, for their insights and their ongoing work in strengthening the minds and future of young Nigerians. The conversation does not end here. The possibility and responsibility belongs to all of us. Stay with us. More is ahead on Daybreak Live Extra. Today, of course, is Extra. And of course, up next is Trend Watch. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, the show continues. Samson Balogun is my name.